Over 2 million people visit the city every year, and they always have the same question before they book the flight. Is it worth it? I've lived in Valencia since 2018. I'm married to a Valencian, and I've seen this city through the eyes of both forasteros and the locals. So today, I want to tell you the honest truth. Bon dia, everyone. Welcome back to Abroad in Valencia, the channel that tells you everything you need to know about this city and my experience in it. So, is Valencia worth visiting? Yes, kind of. Depends who you ask. Really, the answer just sort of depends on what kind of traveler you are, what you're actually expecting, and when you're coming to the city. So in this video, we're going to go through the pros, the cons, and everything you need to know before you decide on actually booking that flight or not. Pro number one, the culture is completely different. Don't come here expecting the stereotypical, bulls and ole and flamenco dancers, because that's not what Valencia is. A lot of people think that if they've gone to Madrid or Seville, then they're getting more or less the same thing in Valencia, but you couldn't be further from the truth. The city has its own language, its own gastronomy, its own culture that goes back hundreds of years. This distinctiveness is what really makes it unique, and it's one of the reasons I think it is worth visiting. Number two, obviously the food is outstanding. You come to Valencia, which is the birthplace of paella, the dish that is famous worldwide now, so of course you have to come for that. But it goes way beyond that, because the city has over 100 traditional rice dishes, like arroz al forn, which is personally one of my favorites. Then you get things like fideuà, which is sort of like a pasta version of paella. You get a lot of small plates, like esgarraet, which is a really nice summer dish. And don't forget the entire concept and culture behind l'esmorzaret, which is sort of like a mid-morning meal that farmers or old workers would use to get through the day. Now it's got its own culture around it. We'll have to make a whole video on that. So if you're a foodie and you're someone who does really like to enjoy the gastronomy when you're going places, Valencia might be the right place for you. Number three, if you really like festivals, we have some here that are completely unique, completely unlike anything else in the world. For example, Les Falles, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Intangible Celebration. Basically, every neighborhood in the city builds up these enormous piece of artworks, and then 5 days later, they burn the city down. They burn everything down to the ground. Constant fireworks, there's lots of flowers, there's lots of parties. It truly is something you really just have to come here to experience for yourself. I've been to the festival every year since 2018. It is really something I can't describe it in words. You have to experience it yourself. Pro number four, the architecture is also amazing. If you're somebody that really appreciates architecture styles, buildings, the facades, walking around and seeing these types of things, you might really like Valencia. Valencia was the World Design Capital in 2022, and you can really tell it does a good job of mixing the modern with the medieval. Because you have Gothic buildings like La Llotja, which is from the 15th century. It's absolutely amazing to see. You get these traditional tiles that you'll see throughout buildings throughout the entire city, in both the modern and the old ones. And then you get these really futuristic complexes in La Ciutat de les Arts y les Ciències, which uses combination of like traditional styles, but in this really weird, modern, cool way to see. Feels like it's from another planet. Feels completely different from anything else in the city. So if you are an architecture fan, you probably will really like Valencia. Pro number five, the Túria River Gardens runs through the entire heart of the city. If you're somebody that likes to go out for a run, if you're somebody that likes to just walk out in nature, then this is a really big perk. So in 1957, we had this big flood. They diverted the river, and then they turned the riverbed into a giant park. So it goes through the entire city, and it connects the historic center all the way down to the City of Arts and Sciences. So if you want to go for a nice walk out in nature, sort of escape the, the busyness and the hustle of the city, then it's a really great spot. I personally go running in there at least once a week. I think it's a really relaxing spot to be in. So if that's something you value, then that's another pro for you. And the last pro, the language is super cool. So if you're a language nerd like me, or you really just like learning about new cultures, then it's a really cool spot to go. Valencia, just like Catalonia and the Balearic Islands, we all speak Catalan. We call it Valencian here, but it's the same thing. So you're really getting like a whole new culture and language to appreciate while you're here. And that's something you need to take into consideration. So for me, I think that's a pro because I think it's a really cool way to appreciate other ways to live, other ways to experience the world. Pretty much everybody here speaks both Valencian and Spanish, so it's a really cool way to see a new perspective. But to be fair, if you're somebody that doesn't really care about languages, you don't really want to put any effort in, you just kind of want everybody to speak English, then Valencia is probably not the best place for you. So with that said, let's move on to the cons. What are some reasons Valencia might not be the right place for you to visit? Because I'm not trying to influence everybody to come here, right? If anything, I'm more of a de-influencer sometimes. I want to give you my honest opinion, and so you can decide if this is the right trip for you to make. Con number one, this might be controversial, but honestly, I think the beach in the city of Valencia is just kind of okay. Because I know a lot of times people will think about the Mediterranean, crystal clear waters, these huge cliffs you can just see down to the bottom. And in Valencia city, that is not what you're getting. It is a lot more comparable to what I was used to when I lived in North Carolina on the coast. Lots of sand, beaches, really long, there's lots of space to lay out. The water's fine, but it's not like amazing. So it's not going to be the same thing as if you're imagining a place like Mallorca, or if you go to Greece or Italy, it's not going to be the same type of beach. So if you just want to sort of lay out in the sand and you don't care about anything, sure, great. But if you're planning on doing things like snorkeling, or you really want that crystal clear blue water experience, the city of Valencia is probably not the right spot for you. Con number two, people really overestimate this. August is hot as hell. And honestly, July is too. It's normal to have, 35-degree Celsius days, and it can easily get up into 40 degrees, especially if there's a heat wave. It's humid, the sun is really intense, there's not a lot of shade sometimes depending on where you are, and not everywhere has air conditioner. Okay, I've lived here for years, and this year is the first summer I will be able to enjoy air conditioning in my home. So plus, especially in August, a lot of businesses close down, a lot of things, shut down, people go on vacation in August. So the city's also kind of just for tourists at that time. So if you're really sensitive to heat, please don't underestimate this. It is really hot, the sun hits really hard, and being sunburned your entire vacation is not exactly relaxing. Con number three, I know I said Les Falles was really cool, but it can also be really overwhelming. If you do not like crowds, if you are not prepared for constant stimulation, you might not want to come in March. I think it is a super fun and amazing celebration that a lot of people should experience, but at the same time, it's really hard to sleep. There's constant noise, there's constant partying. The city really turns into someplace completely different. So not everybody's gonna like that. So don't come with kids. If you can't handle a crowd, maybe you shouldn't come. If you get overstimulated really easily, this might not be the right spot for you. So it's not really a criticism, but it is what it is, right? Not everywhere is going to be the perfect place for you. Last con, this is one a lot of people sort of underestimate, but Valencia really isn't as big as cities like Madrid or Barcelona or other, European capitals like Berlin or Paris. If you want that sort of big city constantly, there's things to do, there's lots of partying, tons of nightlife, well, Valencia is probably not the right spot for you. Valencia is a little more calm down. Yes, you have, bars and clubs, but it's still not as big of a scene as some other cities. So here you really do sort of get, nice restaurants, a more local experience. It's not as international. And for me, that's a plus. But for a lot of people that, want a really different type of experience, which is perfectly valid, it might not be right for you. Okay, last. So let's sum this up. Who is Valencia right for then? Based on everything I told you, who's going to get the most out of the city? Number one, foodies. If you are obsessed and you are traveling for the food, you're going to love it here. Two, culture travelers. If you really love culture, history, languages, learning more things about the world, Valencia is the right spot for you. Three, families. Everything's flat, lots of museums, easy to get around. In general, it's very family friendly. And four, solo travelers. I do think that Valencia is actually really safe, especially compared to somewhere maybe like Barcelona or other European capitals, I think at a minimum, you're going to feel a lot safer here. So if you're a solo female traveler or an LGBT traveler, I think Valencia might be a good decision for you. But on the flip side, if you are a beachgoer, if you are a big partier, if you're here for the international scene, you're probably not going to like Valencia that much. So if you are coming to Valencia, then don't forget to check out my travel advisory services. Whether you want a personalized, customized, 100% yours itinerary, or just a quick consultation, or pre-made downloadable itineraries that already all set up for you, send me a message and check the links below. And if you want even more free information, then I do have some free guides that I'll also link below, blog posts that go into more details, whole guide on what to do in the summer, lots of good stuff down there. So if you're new here and you enjoyed it, please subscribe. It helps me out so much to keep making this cool content for you guys. I really hope it's a good tool to help you plan your trip to Valencia and sort of experience the city. I try to make things as specific to here as possible, nothing generic, all my honest, genuine experiences in the city, and I hope you like that. So, buon viaggio, and I'll see you next time.